Hey guys, this video I'm going to be talking about the future of Doctor Who. First I'm going to give a quick overview of the series. It's one of the greatest shows ever. It's the longest running sci-fi show of all time and one of the longest running shows of all time, running for almost 60 years now. It includes the TV show itself, comics, books, movies, audiobooks, animated stories, spin-off shows, animation for lost episodes, games, animated stories, and more. It gained popularity in the 1960s, growed heavily in the 70s and early 80s, and started to decline around the late 80s. This was due to some bad writing decisions. Although the quality had improved with the final seasons of Sylvester McCoy, it was too late and the show got canned in 1989. This was also due to the BBC just really hating sci-fi at the time. 1996 saw a failed revival of the series with an American-made TV movie. It didn't gain enough popularity in the US to warrant a series there, but Big Finish, which was a different company, was allowed to produce audio adventures for the Doctor, but there was no official continuation. Not until 2003, with the show's 40th anniversary, where it got an animated little spin-off called Scream of the Shulker, with Richard E. Grant voicing the then official Ninth Incarnation. Up until 2005, with the airing of the episode Rose, this was the official continuation. But after the episode had aired in the new series, confirming Christopher Eccleston as the Ninth Incarnation, Richard Grant was pushed into the unofficial Doctors Club. The series was well received and ended with the death of Eccleston's Doctor and the introduction of David Tennant, who also left the role in 2009 along with the then showrunner Russell T Davies. He was replaced by Stephen Moffat, who took over for the next 6 series, introducing Matt Smith in Series 5 as the 11th Doctor and Peter Capaldi as the 12th Doctor in Series 8. Season 10 would be both Moffat and Capaldi's last seasons, and it was very clear the show had needed a shake-up, given it had a drop in popularity, and the reputation of the show had been somewhat soured by Moffat's overcomplicated storylines, which required you watch every single episode. Casual viewers were heavily excluded and were shunned with like, oh, I don't understand what's going on, and you'd have people shout at them, oh, you just don't understand, it's too smart for you. There's a difference between convoluted storylines and good, interesting storylines, and Moffat was edging towards convoluted with his mid-season. So the show needed a shake-up, and who better to do it than Chris Chibnall? He'd written for the show previously, the episode 42 in Series 3, Hungry Earth and Cold Blood in Series 5, and Dinosaurs on a Spaceship and The Power of 3 for Series 7. These episodes all had the same formula. Doctor plus companions have to face a threat whilst new plot threads keep getting introduced. Whilst the old ones are still there, they're on a timer the entire time, and the villain gets defeated very anticlimactically at the end. He also wrote for Torchwood, the Doctor Who spin-off, and wrote the terrible episode The Cyberwoman, where a sexy Cyberman gets touched up by one of the gang and is defeated by spraying condiments at it to attract a pterodactyl to eat them. I really wish I was joking with that, but I'm not. He came on to be the showrunner for the next few seasons with a 5-series plan. According to him, one of the points he had for being hired was to make the Doctor a woman, and if that wasn't met, then he would have been... he just wouldn't have taken the job. I think this is false due to the fact that the BBC has some kind of code now, where it's like you have to have a certain amount of diversity, and people have been wanting the Doctor to be cast as a girl, so I think it was BBC saying that you got to cast them as a woman, and he's just lying at that for like a goody two shoes internet points. It's sort of like casting an incarnation of the Doctor as a black woman, then never using her again, except to say, hey look, one of the Doctors was a black woman. Who could have done that? He cast Jodie Whittaker as the 13th Doctor, who he'd worked previously on the show Broadchurch. However, I haven't seen the show, so I can't speak for its quality personally, but it has gotten very good reviews. It also had David Tennant in it. The first episode of his new series had garnered the interest of about 10.96 million viewers, almost 11 million, but the series couldn't keep this up and ended up dropping down to 6.65 million by the end, the sharpest decline of viewers in a single season of the revived series. His next 2 seasons would also fare rather poorly, with Series 12 being by far the lowest reviewed. It couldn't handle the big storylines that it attempted to do, since in the previous season Chibnall had tried to do this plot line of man is angry at someone for murdering his wife, and he couldn't do that well. Introducing such big universe-shattering plots that he tried to do just didn't work. And Series 13 was cut down by 4 episodes due to the global situation, and so it didn't really have as much time or as good production value as others. Now, I'm not saying that it's bad because of that. I really appreciate the people who work on it, but the quality of writing just has not improved from Series 11. So the series needed a shake-up. Having the lowest review scores of the entire revived series, who better to come back than Russell T Davies? Despite how he had previously said he was against returning and was happy to just watch the show as it went on, let others have their turn with it, Russell has returned to the franchise, taking it over to replace Chibnall. Now that we've caught up with some recent Who history, let's take a quick look at the stage. RTD is returning to the show and is partnered with Bad Wolf Studios in Cardiff to make the new series. Chibnall has 2 specials left, one airing in Easter and the other in late 2022, to finish up his Doctor, his storyline, and fuck up the rest of the franchise. Davies has revealed that the newest Doctor hasn't yet been cast, but they're still doing interviews for the role, and he is still writing episodes, but there are a few that he has finished and that he's quite happy with. An interesting development, though, is that Bad Wolf Studios has actually been bought by Sony, along with Wolf Studios Wales, Downstage in Cardiff, and Bad Wolf's 30% stake in Bad Wolf America LLC. This acquisition could be very beneficial for Who, as it gives them backing from a large media entity with lots of investment behind it. Another interesting factor is how Davies has previously said Doctor Who should have a Marvel-like expanded universe, and started to do this with spin-offs in 2006, Torchwood, and 2007, The Sarah Jane Adventures, both of which were of high quality-ish for Torchwood. But that's just the first season. I haven't seen the second yet, so apparently it gets better though. And they all converged into one big crossover episode with the previous characters from seasons of Who in The Stolen Earth and Journey's End. It did Endgame before Avengers did, and it did it better. Sony has been involved with the MCU itself and is making their own cinematic universe with Venom and Morbius, as well as the Spider-Verse movies. So along with RTD's vision of a Doctor Who cinematic universe, this could become a reality. However, they just own Bad Wolf Studios. They have no actual influence on the production of it, only investment money and owning the company that helps make it. They can't really, get involved with the writing or the direction of the series or spin-offs. However, there is a rumour that Torchwood will be getting a revival. There may also be the return of characters from Davies' first era, such as Martha Jones, Mickey Smith, or Luke, Clive and Maria, or Rani from the Sarah Jane spin-off. Another interesting tidbit is the possibility of a Doctor Who animated spin-off series, or spin-off movies. 2 already exist, with Dreamland, a 3D animated adventure, and with Infinite Quest, a 2D animated adventure. They've also been using animation for years now to fill in the gaps of the lost episodes of the first and second Doctors, with audio that survived being remastered and made higher quality, and then animation being put over it. It wouldn't be surprising if they had voice actors come in to record audio for original adventures to be used in animation. It would be a good way to introduce modern fans to classic Doctors with new storylines, to get them maybe to go and buy the classic series, which I would highly recommend. Another possibility is to animate the already existing audiobooks, which follow the adventures of previous and modern Doctors and have been of quite high quality. If you're wondering if you should get into audiobooks, I would recommend listening to the 8th Doctor series, Blood of the Daleks, to Human Resources. It's a very good series and a very nice introduction into the world of Doctor Who and also the world of Doctor Who audio. After that, I would recommend listening to something like War Master, Only the Good. It's probably the best thing Big Finish has put out. There are other possibilities as well, such as a Unit spin-off, an 8th Doctor spin-off, or spin-offs for new characters introduced by Davies in his new run, which has been nicknamed the RTD2 era. We also have confirmation that Mandip Gill, who plays Yasmin Khan, will be leaving the show along with Jodie and John Bishop, who plays Dan Lewis. RTD2 is also confirmed to begin its filming in spring of 2022, with the first episode airing in late 2023, around the time of the show's 60th anniversary. The show has a tradition of airing a special every 10, but there is no confirmation if this is going to be an anniversary special, a season opener, or both. In an interview recently with Stephen Moffat, he commented on how he had spoken with Russell over the phone, and how Russell had told him a few of the ideas he'd had for the new series, and how he sounded very enthusiastic and happy about it. And Stephen said that these ideas sounded really good, and he was quite happy for the new series. I too share this sentiment. I'm optimistic for it. Russell has proven that he's a skilled writer before, and he is still one. I think that he's only honed with age. Sort of like wine. Recently, he's written It's a Sin and Years, both of which are really good shows that I would highly recommend. It's a Sin and Years really speak quality and show that Davies' writing has improved with age, and honestly, that's a good thing. With hindsight as well, from now over 10 years ago for his last works on Doctor Who, he now knows the problems people have with it. People say stuff like, all the endings of the seasons follow the same format. Some villain that survived the Time War comes back. You have the Emperor Dalek, you have the Cult of Skaro, you have the Master, and you have Davros, all of which are survivors of the Time War. Hell, even in the last episode for the run of the 10th Doctor, you have the return of the Time Lords, again, surviving the Time War. There are also other complaints people have with his finales feeling like they end 10 minutes early, and then the final 10 minutes just being like saying goodbyes very extendedly, rather than the episode keeping going up and then in the last few minutes only having a goodbye. He now has hindsight on this and can go and fix these issues that people have. We also know that Davies has been a fan of casting a person of colour or a woman or both as the Doctor. In his novelisation of the episode Rose, the first episode of the Revived series, when the novelisation was written in 2018, he wrote all of the incarnations of the Doctor into a scene where Rose is introduced to a man over the internet who has information on the Doctor. He shows her all the incarnations of the Doctor, from 1 up until 13, as well as 2 more. Quote, a tall, bald black woman wielding a flaming sword, and, quote, a young girl or boy in a high-tech wheelchair with what looked like a robot dog at their side. This could be a hint at the casting of Tania Miller as the Doctor. However, she has already had a part in the show as the General in Hellbent, where they regenerate from a white bald man into a black bald woman. This confirms that regeneration can happen between genders, despite the fact that Missy had been introduced in the previous season. We didn't know if they were actually the Master or they were someone else pretending to be them. Since we had seen the Master sort of confirmed, sort of dead in The End of Time Part 2, and we hadn't seen the regeneration, at least not until the next season finale, where it would be confirmed that John Sims' Master was succeeded by Missy. But also between skin colours as well. It also confirmed that regenerating will give you eyeshadow. Another favourite pick for the next Doctor is Lydia West. And apparently Jodie Whittaker agrees with fans, and myself, I do quite fancy Lydia West as the next Doctor, as she suggested and asked for Russell to replace her as the Doctor with Lydia. This was apparently noted down by Russell, and I hope he noted it down so well that he decided to cast her. Both actresses are very viable options for the Doctor, as Russell has previously worked with them, and he also previously worked with Christopher Eccleston on The Second Coming and David Tennant on Casanova before casting them both as the Doctor. Tania was on Years and Years, Lydia was on It's a Sin and Years and Years, and both were written by Russell. To me at least, there's no doubt in my mind that the next Time Lord will be a woman, and my guess is probably a woman of colour too. We can expect an announcement soon. The series will begin filming soon, and I imagine the BBC will not want to have any set leaks where someone's taken a picture of someone in a sort of doctorish outfit walking around the TARDIS or in Jodie Whittaker's old clothes, or post it on the internet, so then the BBC is forced to make an announcement that yes, they are the Doctor. My guess is as soon as they are cast, we will have an announcement, or after they are cast and they've had an outfit test, we will get photos of them in the outfit. So that's really it. Socials in the description, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Goodbye, and love yous.